Hi, I'm Ashley Perez, and I'm a visual artist in San Antonio, Texas, and this is Una Plática.
Una Plática.
Una Plática.
Es una plática.
Say plática.
Una Plática. Una Plática.
I have been an artist since I was a teenager. I got into the arts when I was in my freshman year of high school, and I was at Brackenridge High School, and one of my art teachers saw what I was doing in my sketchbook, and she suggested that I join an after-school arts program called SACY. That program has changed my life, and so I owe a lot to Miss Donna Simon, the art teacher there at the time, because I was there for all of my high school life, and I learned quite a lot about what it means to be a community artist. And I was inspired by the other students and the artists that they exposed me to, and then just in general knowing that art was a career path that I could choose if I stuck with it and if I practiced and was very determined. I feel like I have a little bit of identity crisis, like maybe a lot of folks out there. My mom is white, my dad is from Mexico, but I grew up in an all-black neighborhood, and it wasn't until a little later in life that I discovered more of the Latinx ties to myself and what that significance means for me as an artist. I'm still going through that process, but it's through the arts that I'm able to connect with that kind of missing link in my life. I have a lot of superheroes that I look up to. San Antonio is filled with folks that will support you in all the different ways. And so, just to name a few, a lot of them are women. They help mentor me in a lot of different ways, mostly informally. They don't know that they're doing making such an impression on me. I really appreciate the work of Kim Bishop, Patricia Morales, Nicola Marie. I also am a big fan of Mari Hernandez, Adriana Garcia, Adria Flores, a lot of artists who are sort of rooted in San Antonio. I find role models in folks every day. I feel like role model and superhero are interchangeable. And we just don't have a lack of them here in San Antonio, and I am much appreciated of it. Centro Cultural Slan is a huge benefit to the community. I think it's really important to have a bunch of different entry points into the arts for artists, but as well as community members. I think that me as a product of a wonderful organization, SACY, and how I was able to grow and meet so many interesting people and learn so much from them, I think it takes a lot of different opportunities for different people around the community. We definitely need more funding for the arts. This is something truer now than ever before, and so I think that there is a lot of proof that it creates a healthy community, an engaged community, and one that actually one that challenges the social norms, which is something that new generations need to be very much aware of. I guess I am a little bit biased. I do love the Mujeres de Islam exhibit. All of the visual arts components, all the exhibit schedules that you guys have is truly wonderful. It's a great space, and I often come on the days that are like not the opening, so I can look at the work on its own and see all of the talented artists that we have here in the city. Some of my work kind of goes into a lot of difficult or sensitive areas, especially now that I'm working more with the idea of forgiveness and our relationship to trust and transgression. And so as my work reflects that, I love to see people talking about what forgiveness means to them and sharing that with each other. I think every time I have a conversation with somebody about this and how it's reflected in my work, we kind of all get a little bit closer to understanding each other, which would be a huge goal for my work, to be able to create that sense of focus, when everything seems so disparate. Giving advice to someone going into the art field, I think a lot of people can offer technical advice and sort of some practical, maybe everyday stuff like about financials and stuff like that. But I do think that there's an opportunity when you know that you want to become an artist and you go with your eyes fully open, to seek out those mentors, those positive people in your community. You have to be involved in the art community. You have to go to the shows. You have to talk to people and build those relationships and see what part of the San Antonio community is most helpful and appropriate for you in the work that you're doing, because you're already an artist. No one needs to tell you that. But if you want to sell it or just to show it to others, I think that it is helpful to understand the systems already in place, and then obviously feel free to break those systems and go beyond them as much as possible, because that's what being an artist is all about. I've started delving into a little bit of found objects / sculptural work recently, and I love that I can still try new things. I'm primarily a painter, so this is a big departure for me. I've been working with a couple of different subject matters that have to do with forgiveness. So we have the decoy ducks, we have the purple heart plants, and then the coral snake that kind of represent both the cause and solution to what it, interpersonal relationships as well as distrust and forgiveness. And so most of the work that I've done is a little, softer and more positive healing motion. I've kind of, in this new series with the ducks on the wall, I've actually used antique ducks that I've found in thrift stores and antique stores, and I've altered them to continue that story of trust. So this series is called The Armada, and it is all about overcoming adversity and sort of understanding that your enemies come from a lot of different places. Your enemy can come from within, from without. It can come from trusted sources that kind of throw you for a loop. And in a lot of symbolic ways, I'm, sort of putting all of these ducks through the ringer and testing them, but in their arrangement and in their own way they're moving through those persecutions and working as a team to like continue their journey. And so in that way, I'm sort of taking a more like, like a more of a spark moving forward, maybe a little bit even more violent approach to the topic. And I'm really enjoying working with different mediums, different glues, working with wood, getting a little more dirty than usual. But I hope to continue investigating new materials. It's always exciting that there's always more that I can do and I can learn. I've just returned from an artist residency in Mexico City, where I was there for 33 days. There I created some work and had an exhibition entitled Tender as Water. While it's a little bit hard to see some of the hanging pieces, they're meant to be like represent a confessional booth. So, they're cut from this material called yupo. And then the cutouts are semi-inspired by papel picado. They have imagery of snakes and the nopal, which it's actually tuna season over there right now. So I represented that quite a bit in this work. But in the installation, I wanted people to kind of move around it and inside of it in order to like create vulnerable spaces. And it is inspired by confessional booths and the screens that separate you from your priest, because during this time I had people there talk to me about their relationship to forgiveness and trust, and a lot of it is built on religious practice and prayer, and then so it was really exciting to see like how that imagery would fold into the work that I already do. One of the bigger takeaways I had was, a lot of people were saying like you have to take people as they are and go, move past it. And in this respect, I thought about water. That is why water is such a primary element in the work. Water moves and carves mountains, and it takes the path of least resistance. I think that's a great metaphor for, a lot of different things. And, when you kind of let go and you stop trying, you let go of control, you can manage how you're reacting to, crisis or conflict.